In this program, we're going to be looking at unarmed assault, self-defense in the real world. More specifically, we're going to be looking at the top 10 statistically most common attacks you're going to have to face in the real world. Our intro program is the top 10 most common or most likely street attacks that you're going to face, unarmed street attacks. So we've cut out a lot of the learning you have to do, years and years of learning. You might not learn these techniques. We've done a statistical analysis and we've seen what actually happens the most often in the real world. And we've broken it down to the top 10 most common attacks that probably represents about 80% of initial attacks. On top of that, we've given you the most effective and simplest defenses that I've come across in my 30 years in the martial arts. We've drawn these from Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Combat Sambo, other systems of martial arts that not only are going to be simple, they work on a very, very high percentage and they're not difficult to do. We're going to start with common shoves. These are generally one-handed. Most people see them as more of a nuisance, but they can be dangerous because if you don't diffuse them early, it gives the attacker psychological permission to up the force level, and he very likely may attack with something strong or dangerous. Then we look at hard pushes, two-handed pushes. A lot of people ignore this, they don't see the threat, but once you're unbalanced, destabilized, he can attack you with almost anything and you won't be able to stop it until you recover your balance. They can be more dangerous than you realize. The haymaker, seen everywhere, is the world's most common punch. If you can't defend yourself against a big right hand, you can't defend yourself. It's that simple. And with factors such as the flinch reflex, it's a lot harder than most self-defense instructors would lead you to believe. The pushing haymaker just compounds the problem. First he breaks your balance and destabilizes you, then before you can recover your balance, he throws the haymaker. Much more difficult to defend than most people realize because they've never faced it in the real world. Single hand grabs, double hand grabs. Just continues up the force ladder. These also are very problematic because they destabilize you, making it difficult to do whatever techniques you may have learned. The hockey punch, that's what we call it in Canada, when he grabs with one hand and he hits you with the other. Very difficult to do in the real world because he's doing two things at once, destabilizing you and hitting you with the other hand.